I spend my nights under the stage lights, but after the applause, I'm back in my truck from my hometown dealer, Benoit Motors. The country roads of Louisiana are my soul, and Benoit Motors gets who I am and who we are. They are proud to be a dealership for the everyday American. Join me and become a member of their family. Benoit Motors, they're with you for all your life's big moments and all the miles in between.
Well, good evening, Panther fans, and welcome to the Coach Doty Coaches Show, brought to you by Benoit Ford of Farmerville. We want to say a special thank you to Mr. Danny and Miss Monica Benoit and their support of Panther football. And I got a room full of folks tonight eating a good meal down here at Frenchman's Bend, talk a little football. And, Coach, you doing good today?
Yeah, speaking of Danny and Monica Benoit, good people, man. And, I got one in my driveway from Benoit Ford, probably have a couple more. So if you're looking for a nice ride, just like Will you say, take a short drive over and visit those guys. Really good people.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, we come in tonight and I want to kick off by recognizing our McDonald's Senior Spotlight with Miss Jennifer Thomas from McDonald's. Remind our folks that the two seniors we'll recognize tonight will also serve as team captains on Friday night against Carroll. So who are our seniors this week, Coach?
It'll be Ian Magoo and Hayden Franklin will be our Senior Spotlight tonight. Come on behind us, guys.
Come on up here and look pretty. Well, do the best you can, Ian. Get your bag.
And this is Miss Jennifer Thomas right here, who takes care of us and works for McDonald's and does a great job. And she does a lot more than these bags for us.
Absolutely.
And, I wish we could all give her a big hand. She's outstanding. Thank you so much.
And we even got her on camera tonight. Jennifer told me that wasn't going to happen, but we got her just a little bit. So, Miss Jennifer, thank you for that.
Hayden's been with us for 4 years now and does a great job. His heart is bigger than anybody else on the team, I think. He does just an outstanding young man and lives, breathes, and sleeps football. Comes from a big football family over there in Haynesville. And, we pick on him a whole lot about that and everything. But, he was able to go over there this past year and told them they wasn't the only family members that had a ring. So he was excited about that. Ian's been with us for 4 years too. Excited about him. Starts at center for us and does a great job. Makes most of our line calls. And, these guys are really good students and they do a great job. And just happy to have them and proud that they're Panthers. And they'll serve as captains for us this Friday night in our ball game against Carroll. So let's give these guys another hand. Appreciate it, guys.
Good job, guys. Got it. Well, Coach, let's talk a little football. Of course, last Friday night was a tough night for the Panthers. Oak Grove with a 52-20 win. And before we really get into the specifics of the game, I know you've had some time now to reflect and look back on Friday night. What are some of your initial thoughts on Friday night?
Well, it's a ball game kind of got away from us early. We had some opportunities early in the game, and once it started going bad, it jumped all over us. We couldn't get a stop. Turned the ball over several times, and just one of those nights. I've been here. This is my 7th year overall, 6 as a head coach, and I think that's happened to us twice. So this was the 3rd time it's kind of happened to us that, what could go wrong did go wrong. And give Oak Grove a lot of credit. They had just gotten basically blown out by OCS the week before, and they rallied the troops. And, they was ready and prepared and excited about playing. And, I told you last week, we don't ever match their intensity. And we didn't the other night either. And, it's just one of them situations that happened. It got away from us. And, I own it and take responsibility for it. And, but at the end of the week and at the end of the month and at the end of the year, it was a high school contest played on Friday night. And half the teams in Louisiana lost, and we were one of them.
Yeah.
So if you lose, it doesn't matter how bad. You still lost.
That's right.
So, we're going to try to correct that this week and see if we can get this thing rolling.
Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about the ball game. You guys did come out and you take the ball first, or they win the toss deferred. You get the ball first, and you come out and you hit the long pass, Lawhon to Bonner on the play action pass to the fullback with Bonner at fullback there. When that happens, what were your thoughts about, or what caused you guys to believe that play was a play that you could be successful on right off the get-go?
Well, just a great play design by our offensive guys, seeing if you lined up in this formation that was going to be wide open, putting Jay Bonner in to run it to. Just a great play, a great opening play for us, and, something we hope would give us a little momentum.
Yeah. Well, Coach, for a quarter and really the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second quarter, you guys kind of exchanged scores. It was 14-14 at that point, and of course Oak Grove goes up 21-14, and then the story of the kind of the rest of the ballgame begins to unfold there. But one of the things that was impressive to me watching and it was something you told us was going to happen last week, was Oak Grove's ability to switch between those two formations. There's not a lot of teams in the high school football ranks, I would imagine, that are going full spread, 4 receivers wide to an I formation with the exact same personnel. So I know that you expected that, but did you know they were going to run it in that hurry-up style where they weren't really huddling? They were just switching quickly. When I watched film on huddle, I couldn't tell the speed at which they were doing that.
Not really. That kind of, that wasn't something we were expecting, but we knew the personnel they were going to use, and it makes it tough on you, where you can't sub out and those type of things. But like I said, again, it's a great game plan by them, and it's hard to believe they lost the game before they play us the way, they look really good. So good for them and bad for us.
Well, Coach, as the game progressed from a defensive standpoint, how did you try to make some adjustments, or what adjustments did you try to make to that person or to those formations?
Well, we threw the kitchen sink at them, and, we played really good on first down most of the night. Second down, it was fine, but we couldn't get off the field on third down. And, when we had a chance to make a play, we just didn't. We had people in positions to make plays sometimes, and they didn't. But, like I said the other day, we're not perfect by any means. You'd love to be, but, kids make mistakes, and coaches make mistakes. We just didn't make the plays when we needed to.
Well, Coach, on the offensive side of the football, I think if I had sat here last week and we talked about your offensive game plan, and if I could have told you that on offense you would only punt twice, that you would average over 7 yards a play, I think you would have taken that a week ago and thought that you'd have been pretty successful. And really, for the most part, your offense was able to move the ball a little bit, but those 5 turnovers really seemed to be the kind of the place that the game shifted on. When you saw your offense, if you take the turnovers away from what you saw from your offense, what was giving them some success moving the football?
Well, I thought our O-line played well up front. We mashed them inside pretty good. And, we got Trammell to the corner a few times, made some good runs. But turnovers. It was 21-14. We turned the ball over, and I think we held them to a field goal there. Yeah. Then kick it off, and we turn it over immediately again. And, boys, it's tough, and when that happens, and all the momentum's on their side, and like I said, it happens. It has happened here like I said, this is the 3rd time since I've been here, and I know the last 2 times it happened, we responded really well.
Yeah.
So we'll see how we respond this time.
Coach, one of the high points I think for me watching that offense is Mason really is getting better and better at the V or the option. He had a couple of times that he read it correctly, got outside, able to make a pitch late. But on his touchdown run was able to kind of fake that pitch and plant a foot and get upfield. Can you talk about his progression as an option quarterback that you've seen over the last couple of years?
Well, he's really worked hard at it, I can tell you that. And it means an awful lot to him. He's a winner. I believe you could play him in checkers and he'd do whatever it takes to beat you, But, he's worked really hard, man. We're proud to have him, and, just think he'll continue to get better and better.
Well, Coach, when it comes to those 5 turnovers, just this week as you guys have talked to your offense about those things, what has been some of the focuses with the offense and defense? Just coming off of the Oak Grove team, loss, what have you said to your team this week?
Well, you can't turn the ball over and win. It doesn't matter who you play. When you turn it over 5 times, you're not going to have a very good chance to win. We're still not tackling and very well. We hope we corrected that this week, but we'll see.
Well, Coach, again, it was a tough loss, but I know you guys are working hard and have worked hard. You stayed late today, getting some extra reps in and getting those guys ready. But let's talk about there are some highlights. We want to talk about the players of the game this week, brought to us by First Security Title of Monroe. Who are your players of the game, Coach?
Well, before we go into that, let's just go back to about working hard. Our kids are not losing football games because they're not working hard, because our kids work their butts off. And I'll put our kids' work ethic against anybody's around, you know. These kids today, it was 122 degrees on the turf. You know, they worked, they handled it really well. So, you know, we're not going to lose football games because our kids don't work. We still believe in these kids. We still believe in this football team. And, you know, shame on anybody who don't. But we're going to keep everything in our building positive, and we're going to screen out the negativity. But, you know, we're going to get better, and we're going to keep working.
Well said, Coach. Well said.
Players of the game Friday night was Charlie Robinson on defense. Charlie, come on up. Tremel Collin on offense. Come on, Tremel. And Jay Bonner on special teams. Tremel had a great night, you know, the other night rushing the football. You know, he's a guy that's coming off an injury early in the year. He keeps getting better and better every week. You know, if he gets a crease, he's gone. And, you know, he'll tell you that he made a boo-boo the other night, made a mistake and put the ball on the ground. But this guy's going to work harder to keep getting better. And nobody runs the ball harder than him. Very happy to have him. Jay was our special teams player, man. He had 150-plus yards, return yards, great punt return in the fourth quarter. But what I really liked about him is every time he got tackled, he bounced right up. And, you know, I was very happy with his play. Charlie is a guy who could really probably be our defensive player of the game every week. It doesn't matter if you're up 22 or down 22. Charlie Robinson's going to play hard every play. I think Charlie ended up with 11 total tackles and 2 sacks. You know, there's a reason why he has a lot of offers. But these guys are our players of the game, and we appreciate them and look for big things out of them the rest of the year.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations, guys. Well, Coach, before we take the break, I do want to talk to you just for a moment. You guys played a JV game last night. We haven't talked a lot about your JV, but I know you guys have played several ball games already through the course of the season on Monday nights. What do you see from your JV bunch so far?
Well, we're undefeated. I think we've only given up 2 touchdowns so far. You know, those guys tackle pretty well. And, you know, I'm really happy with them. And, you know, last night our offensive line looked really good in the JV game. Got a couple, you know, good young backs coming up, I think. And, you know, those guys work hard. You know, those guys deserve to play on Monday nights, and that's one reason why we always try to make sure we have a good JV schedule, because those guys serve as our scout team for us.
Right.
And what that really entails is Monday, you know, those guys come in our building, they lift weights during their weightlifting hour on Monday. Then they come back to the field Monday, get dressed, come out, hold dummies, condition, do whatever the varsity does, and then they go get dressed, eat a Warburger from Miss Lucius that she got for them, and then they go play a football game. You know, that's a long day.
Absolutely.
And then they come back Tuesday and line up, and they're practice dummies again, you know, and they do that and do that and do that. And, you know, these guys don't get a lot of playing time on Friday. So very proud of that young bunch. You know, man, we feel good about their work ethic. I mean, it's not overloaded with athletes, but we got some size in there and some guys who it seems like it means a lot to.
Well, Coach, let me just ask you this as you talk about that. Are there 1 or 2, 3 guys that you see from that JV bunch that we're probably going to see at some point on Friday nights this fall?
Well, it's a very good possibility. You know, it's a possibility we may start 2 freshmen Friday night on defense, you know. So 2 freshmen, 4 sophomores.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's a very good possibility. We're going to see them and see them soon.
Yeah, okay. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more of the Coach Doty Show in just a moment.
First Security Title of Monroe provides real estate transaction services in Northeast Louisiana. The closing process has never been easier. with a dedicated staff that takes pride in helping our customers obtain quality service. First Security Title, 1818 Avenue of America, Monroe.
I spend my nights under the stage lights, but after the applause, I'm back in my truck from my hometown dealer, Benoit Motors. The country roads of Louisiana are my soul, and Benoit Motors gets who I am and who we are. They are proud to be a dealership for the everyday American. Join me and become a member of their family. Benoit Motors, they're with you for all your life's big moments and all the miles in between.
Well, folks, welcome back to the Coach Lee Doty Show, brought to you by Benoit Ford of Farmerville. This week, your Panthers make their way back to Panther Stadium to begin district play against our district opponent, the 2-0 Carroll Bulldogs. And Coach, as you've approached Carroll this week, how have you approached preparing your team for this week, kind of shutting the door on last week?
Well, when you turn the film on Carroll, it doesn't take long to get over Oak Grove, so you better be ready to play. Maybe overall team speed, the fastest guys we played. Do a good job. And we've talked about Greeley, the running back from Carroll, a lot, Trey Holly and some other guys wasn't seniors this year. This guy may be one of the top backs in the state. I really like him. He runs hard. He's about a 185-pound guy. And, we got to figure out how to get that guy on the ground. And it's been challenging to get everything prepared for this bunch, So the good thing is, they run spread, and we've seen plenty of that here lately. And we'll see how it goes. I feel good. I think we've had 2 good days of practice, and I know that good practice doesn't mean good play all the time. But I think our kids are excited about playing. It's the first district game, and it kind of prepares us for what we're going to see the rest of the year.
Well, Coach, this year, Carroll's team, of course, I remember the game last year. It was the first half. They seemed to, every pass they threw, they caught. You guys were able to settle in second half, really pull away from them, put that ball game away. But this year is a little bit different team with the change that Carroll was made at head coach with Tank leaving, and, of course, Coach Brandon Landers taking over for them. I believe Landers was the offensive coordinator last year, so on that side you can kind of expect a similar approach, I would imagine, to what you saw before. And you mentioned the athletes they have. Of course, they moved DeMardrick Blunt, the wide receiver from last year, to quarterback. And so really, with Greeley and him in the backfield, what are you seeing in them, and how are they using those 2 guys so far?
Well, they like to run the football. They want to try to establish the run, and they've done a good job of it. Their offensive line is huge, big guys. Number 74, I swear he's been playing there forever. He's a 2-way starter and has been since his 9th grade year. But he's a good player, and he wrecks on offense and defense. And they got some other guys. They got a young freshman tackle that I think is going to be really good, and they got some good players back. And they'll try to get the ball out in space to these guys, and not as much vertical passing as maybe last year, because the quarterback they had last year was legit.
Yeah.
And this guy's more of a runner and more of a short passing game with them, and they execute it well. And it seems like to me they're doing exactly what they need to be doing with the players they got.
Yeah. Well, Coach, they are a team that does do those things. I think I was reading Jake Martin's article from back in the summertime about Carroll, and I think that this may be, outside of Richwood, they may have had the most returning seniors on the football field. I know that offensive line, you mentioned those guys have got 4 out of 5 or in their senior year of starting for Carroll, and so you've seen those guys before and kind of know what they bring to the table. Defensively, though, on the other side of the football, they mentioned number 74 that goes both ways, but it looks like they've also got some really good guys that can run to the football on that side.
Yeah, they returned 7 or 8 guys over there from last year. They had to have a new defensive coordinator, not really sure what we're going to get because we hadn't seen them against a tight end team, so not exactly sure what we're going to get. But, they'll be fired up about coming up here and playing us. And like I said, we got to have a good day tomorrow of preparation and get ready to go.
Coach, what do you expect defensively? I mean, I know you say you don't have a lot to look at, but do you think they'll go 5 down, or do you think you still are going to see 3, 2, 3? I know they're running the 2 down and the 2 stand-up defensive ends against the spread. What do you expect to see Friday night?
We're preparing for both fronts. Just like I said, I don't expect them to run a lot of 50 front stuff, but they may. But our guys are preparing for both things to happen.
Well, Coach, what will be the kind of the attack points for you guys? What are you looking at offensively to say, hey, we're going to be able to? We think we'll be successful here or there. What are some focal points for you on offense this week?
Just trying to get our offensive line. They've gotten better to me every week, and just kind of get them focused up and ready to go, and see if we can get Trammell loose some, and some play action stuff maybe, we'll see what we can get done against them.
Coach, you've said this a lot. I've heard you say to your team over the last seven seasons that you're always going to get everybody's A game. We're not a letdown team or game for people. And I think I even heard Coach Landers say today that for them this game's about respect. And so as you hear that, and I don't think he's wrong, I think them coming into Sterlington and playing hard is something that they'll be earning something if they are able to pull off a win. But how do you approach that, like reminding your players, hey, look, we are respected and we need to make sure we maintain that?
Well, we talk all the time about getting everybody's best shot, us being everybody's Super Bowl. And, I think our kids understand the importance of this game. I think you'll see very improved play. And, like I said, you just never know until kickoff. I mean, we still got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday till we kick the ball off. I mean, last week, if I would sit here on Tuesday and told you that what we was going to have to deal with, I might have just took 2 or 3 days off, but you never know what you're going to get, and so you just kind of hope Friday hurries up and get here.
Yeah. Well, Coach, good luck this Friday night against Carroll. Again, Carroll will come to the Panther Stadium at 7 o'clock on Friday night, and for kickoff there, Coach, for folks that are watching tonight or folks who will hear this even on Friday night, those in the room, any final words you'd like to say to them?
Yeah, on our season ticket package, we had a date wrong on that. It says September 16th, Carroll, but that ticket will be good for this Friday night. So anybody who has that, just, turn it in at the gate. You'll be fine with it. So that's just a mistake made on the tickets right there. And but it's good for this Friday night. And look forward to seeing everybody there. Coach,
looking forward to getting back home and getting things kicked off there. Folks, if you can't make it to the game, we'd love it if you can. Should be a great night for football, but if you can't make it, you can catch us on YouTube beginning at 6:15, with a replay of this coach's show, and then William, Handy, and myself will get you set with a pregame show about 6:50, kickoff right at 7 o'clock. And if you want to catch the highlights, the game replays, hype videos, and all that, you can go to shspantherfootball.com. You can also find the link for the live stream there on that website. So, Coach, any final words before we sign off tonight?
I hope to pack it out Friday night and go Panthers.
Folks, thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great week.
I spend my nights under the stage lights, but after the applause, I'm back in my truck from my hometown dealer, Benoit Motors. The country roads of Louisiana are my soul, and Benoit Motors gets who I am and who we are. They are proud to be a dealership for the everyday American. Join me and become a member of their family. Benoit Motors, they're with you for all your life's big moments and all the miles in between.
This broadcast is copyrighted by Empire Media and Management. Any unauthorized reproduction is strictly prohibited.